Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to my channel. This is Dre from Glamour Spell Tarot, and this is going to be a divine message for you, this time from the runes. To be very honest, I've been watching a lot of Vikings and the Lost Kingdom, and I've always felt a connection towards the Nordic gods. Yeah, that sounds a little bit weird, I know. Well, part of my heritage, it's Germanic. So, yeah, I've always felt this connection. So, today I'm bringing you the runes. We are going to pull 5 runes. What I would suggest is try to think now of a question or of something that you would like guidance for, or just set the intention that the message that comes through is for you and that is going to clarify a certain circumstance or a certain element that you want clarified. So let's see. Let's see what we've got here. Okay, I'm going to pull all of them first, and then I'm going to tell you which and every one of them means. Oh, that's interesting. I will also need to bring the camera closer. Amazing. So let me rearrange the camera here and we'll come with the explanations. I have changed the angle of the camera so you will be able to see the runes because they are quite tiny. I didn't realize this when I ordered them, but they are good for me to practice. So I'm bringing them for you today. So the first rune that came out is Lahguz. The translation of this rune is water. And the keywords for it are water, flow, energy, emotions, intuition, the unconscious. Think of the cups suit in tarot. That will give you a better idea. Psychic abilities, the feminine, and growth. So Lahguz is the water rune, right? It symbolizes the element in all of its forms, from rivers to streams to seas to oceans to the rain, and even the water contained in our own bodies. It is also connected to emotion, the cleansing of unwanted energy through tears, and of course the unpredictability of life. If you are being tossed around in the emotional waters of a situation, Lahguz advises you to release your resistance and go with the flow. So basically, if your question was related to emotions or to an emotional situation, you are being advised to go with the flow. What is key here is the capacity to adapt as opposed to continuing to resist, and if you do that, your circumstances will only plunge further into disharmony. The same is true when it comes to positive circumstances. Acknowledge them and enjoy them with gratitude, but don't cling to them as the source of your only happiness. Let the fluidity of life guide you rather than trying to control and direct it. So, as the rune of water, Lahguz is also the rune of intuition and the subconscious. You may be getting a lot of intuitive hits from your inner self right now. Be sure to follow your gut, even if your brain is telling you differently. Lahguz indicates psychic ability, which can be nurtured and strengthened with practice. You are supposed to stay open and receptive to the messages coming from spirit and from your higher self. Trust your inner process to help you navigate the stormy waters. So the answer basically is with you. It's also important to mention that Lahguz is also symbolic of feminine energy and can represent the woman in the context of the male-female relationship. Feminine strength and support are indicated here. Creativity and growth are further aspects of this rune. Laguz is sometimes translated to mean leek, an edible and magical herb revered by the ancient Norse. Leeks grew wild in northern Europe and were considered symbols of growth and virility. In this context, Laguz represents the life force found within all matters on earth. If you have been hiding or ignoring a creative talent, this rune is nudging you to develop it, as it will facilitate further growth in your life. So let's move on now. The next rune we have here is Aiwas. It translates into horse and indicates changes, faith, loyalty, trust, movement, and travel. So moving towards more calmer waters so far. Remember the Six of Swords from Tarot? So the shape of Aiwas is a symbolic for the horse, revered as a sacred element in the cultures of the ancient Germanic tribes. This rune represents the qualities of faith, loyalty, and trust, all necessary for a successful relationship between a horse and its rider. Aiwas is a rune of partnership and friendship and indicates the need to be faithful and accountable to the people in your life. If the reading if your question was about a relationship, drawing Aiwas is a good sign that these crucial aspects are present for both people involved. The concept of faithfulness also applies to yourself and to your goals. If you have asked about a specific pursuit, Aiwas is reminding you that you have what it takes to accomplish it, but you must dedicate yourself fully to the endeavor in order to see it through. Steady progress is made by placing one foot in front of the other. Isn't that true in any situation in life? Provided you do your part, the support you need will arise and you will gain momentum. So, depending on the question that you have asked or the intention you have set for this reading, it can be either about love, it can be either about your goals. But I feel that the main concepts here are being accountable and being faithful. Either you are to yourself or to the people in your life, but these are elements that are very important. So what you need to know is that horses are able to change direction swiftly, and another meaning for Aiwas is change. Often this is in the form of changing jobs or the place of residence. This is a positive change, even if it may seem daunting at first. Aiwas is also associated with movement and travel, as horses were key means of transportation in the ancient world. This can be a journey in the physical world, but is likely an internal spiritual journey, as horses are associated with astral travel in many shamanic traditions around the world. If you have been experiencing severe emotional or physical difficulties, Aiwas may be indicating that you are actually on an inner journey towards a transformed and stronger self. How gorgeous is that? Keep an open mind in order to learn the spiritual lessons that your life is presenting to you now. So this would be for Ainas here. Let's move on. The next rune we got here is actually Reito. This is the translation for wagon or riding or a vehicle. The keywords for this would be travel, a journey, movement, reunion, and changes. Again, it makes me think of the Six of Swords, but I would also think of the Six of Cups here because of the reunion with a soulmate. We spoke about travel, we spoke about changes, we spoke about emotions. So the right hoe is the rune of travel, representing both the physical wheel of a wagon, which for so long was the only vehicle to travel in Northern Europe. This rune indicates that you are setting off or will soon set off on a journey, whether it's in the external world or at an emotional or spiritual level. If your travel is physical, right horse signals a pleasant experience with few or no mishaps. And if you are on a spiritual quest, the going may require significant flexibility from your part, but the rewards of reaching your destination will be well worth it as you are following your soul's chosen path. Either way, you are advised to keep your focus on the experience of the journey itself rather than on your arrival. And most importantly, this is because Raido signifies not just the vehicle you ride in, but also the road you travel on. You will be best served by making the most of every moment along the way. Okay? So it's a little bit, how was that saying? Life is the journey, not the destination. Something like that. So let's see. Another related interpretation is the one I've just mentioned in the beginning here, and that is reunion. Specifically, the return of an old friend in your life, or even the arrival of new people with whom you made a soul agreement, soulmates, before incarnating into this life. Alternatively, you may be presented with a chance to resolve a disagreement or conflict, either with someone else or within yourself. Some other runic systems also view Raido as an indicator that now is a good time for negotiations or deliberations related to agreements with others. Raido is simply a reminder to align yourself with the wheel of life, the wheel of fortune in tarot, and know that life has ups and downs, ebb and flow, and a constant seasonal change. The contrast between opposites is a part of the journey of life, what I have been mentioning a little bit earlier. And if things are not going your way, take heart and know that nothing is permanent. So now let's go to Gibo. So Gibo here, it translates into gift and hospitality and generosity. Okay, the keywords for it would be friendship and harmony, and obviously the ones I have mentioned, and talents and abilities. Gibo is the rune of gifts and generosity. Primarily, it signifies an exchange between people that necessarily results in a connection between the giver and the receiver. Drawing Gibo often indicates that you are receiving a gift, which may be material in nature, or something intangible, such as emotional support. And how I feel it here, the Divine Feminine is receiving emotional support from her divine partner, from a soulmate, from someone that the Divine Feminine has a contract with. In centuries past, when contracts were signed by two people who couldn't read or write, they would make an X mark to signify their agreement to the transaction. This concept of agreement between the two parties is a core part of Gibo's meaning. If you are the recipient of a gift from someone else, you choose to either accept it or decline it. Now, here there is an offer, for sure. Depending on the question you have asked, it's either an offer of love, which can transform into a contract, an engagement, a marriage, or if your question is related to work or to career, then again you are offered a contract, a new position, a new job, and it's up to you if you are going to take it or not. Depending on the context of the reading, Gibo may be advising you to accept wholeheartedly with gratitude or to be wary of the motivations behind the gift. So far, I feel that this is a positive gift. It's something good that is coming your way. It's something good that is coming your way the second you let go of expectations. Okay, so let's see. But in either way, Gibo is success and harmony in a partnership, or relationships, whether personal or professional, involve reciprocity to some degree. And drawing this rune indicates that a relationship in your life is blessed with good fortune. With business partners or co-workers, this may mean that synergy between you leads to productive, enjoyable work. In romance, you may experience a deepening of commitment and passion with your partner. Just be sure in all relationships to pay attention to balance and harmony. Another meaning of Gibo can also refer to gifts from the higher realms, and particularly in the context of skills and talents. You may discover a new passion that you have, a natural ability, or further develop a talent that you are already pursuing. Drawing this rune is a message of encouragement to keep making the most of what you have been given in order to make your mark in the world. I forgot to tell you guys that these runes also have reverse meanings, but as I didn't draw any of the runes reversed, there was no point to mention it so far. But in other readings, when we are going to have runes reversed, I am going to read them as such. So let's move to the last rune of your message. Beautiful message so far. Your last rune here is Elhas, which in literal translation would mean protection, the elk, and the sedge plant. And keywords for this would be protection, defense, and opportunity. I was telling you this reading is absolutely gorgeous. So Elhas is the rune of defense and protection. You look at its shape, and it's said to represent both the elk with its imposing antlers and the sedge plant, whose sharp leaves act as natural protection from would-be predators. Both images illustrate the power represented by this rune, a built-in protective force that discourages negative influences from affecting your personal experience. Drawing Elha's influence indicates that you are safe from danger and that there is no need to fear. However, you are not to take the protective energy for granted by being reckless with your actions, as this rune does not mean that there is no danger present whatsoever. It simply means that as long as you remain alert and clear-minded and in touch with your intuition, you are headed for a positive outcome. Elhas has been interpreted as a symbol of reaching up to connect to the divine for support. By listening to your higher guidance, what you guys are doing right now through watching this reading, you will know which moves to make to stay out of harm's way. Additional meanings to this, Elhas can also refer to an upcoming opportunity or quest. Usually this involves one or more other people who may bring an offer or an invitation to join in a venture of some kind. As long as your intuition agrees, go for it. This is a favorable time for a new endeavor, and it is likely to produce positive results at a rapid pace. If the central question of the reading relates to new ventures, particularly one involving risk, then Elhas is an indicator of good fortune. Guys, I feel this reading has been definitely magic. I love the runes. They are very interesting symbols, and they come from a time where people wouldn't read and write, but they would have these symbols. And yeah, I think they are quite interesting, but I'm waiting for your comments below. I'm sorry, I'm still a little bit lost today. I took the COVID vaccine a couple of days back, and yesterday I haven't been feeling well, but today I decided to come in front of you and bring you a new reading. I've had this pull since yesterday evening, but I was way too weak to do it. Anyway, basically I'm going to be feeling better and better. Make sure to have seen the weekly reading. It's for all signs. And as usual, drop me a comment below. I always want to know if you resonate with these readings and if the messages are useful for you. Until next time, guys, love and light.